think this position might be the most influential position in FM22. Nah, I think it is. The simple fullback, the wingback, or even, if you're feeling a bit more edgy, the inverted wingback. This position, these roles are becoming more and more important in Football Manager, and I think actually you could probably say in world football. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to rank the top 10 best players, in my opinion, to go and sign in Football Manager 2022 that play at fullback or wingback or inverted wingback, as we mentioned. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you are a newbie, that's what I'm going to call you. My name is Clayts, and if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you for being here. You could go and hit the subscribe button, couldn't you? And get yourself subscribed to the channel. That would be lovely. And in fact, if you're not a newbie and you're an oldie, is that what you call it? If you're an oldie and you're not subscribed, then maybe you should be subscribed. I hope you are all very, very well, though. Thank you for being here once again. Today, as I mentioned, then we're going to be going through our top 10 fullbacks or wingbacks in order from 10 to number 1. Before we do get into that list, a super quick thank you to the Claytreon members. Thank you very much for being members over on Patreon. If you too want to get your name in the video, like these guys here, who are a bunch of legends, you can do so by following the link that is in the description. Let's jump into our top 10. As with all of these lists, then, I have once again been asking for your opinions. And we've done a few of these lists now, haven't we? We've done strikers, we've done centre-backs, we've done centre-mids. Now we're doing the fullbacks and wingbacks. What's next? Is it going to be wingers or goalkeepers? Let me know in the comments down below. But as with all of these lists, I've gone on Twitter and I've asked for you guys to tell me, what do you think? Who makes up your best fullbacks or wingbacks? And a few of you went with our number 10 choice today, Owen Wijndal, and I fully concur. As somebody who has signed him not only in this year's game, as you can see in my Wolfsburg save, which is a save we reference quite a lot in these videos because I did just kind of go and sign all the players that I find very OP and very, very good. So, I mean, that's kind of what you do in FM, isn't it? But also, I signed him in FM21, and he was a beast in my Hereford save, way into the future as well. As you can see here in 2023, Owen Wijndal is a fantastic left wing back, left wing back, can actually play left mid as well. Even at a real push, is competent as a left winger. That's something you might see in a few of these players today. That little bit of versatility could be quite useful and is quite useful if you're trying to, you know, have a bit of a squad that can be, you know, adaptable and changeable depending on the different systems that you use. Owen Wijndal is a great example of this because he's fairly well rounded. If I change from the biography to the analysis, or this graph here, the scatter graph, it's almost a circle because he's so well rounded. He's got decent pace with 15 and 15, obviously left footed on that left hand side, good dribbling and crosses as well. He's a highly competent left back and he always puts in decent performances for me. Let's have a look at what his average rating is for me. It's a 7. You can't really ask for too much more than that, can you? Let's go through then to number 9. And at number 9 then is another Wolfsburg player. As you can see, on the other side, it's Radal Baku. Now, with Owen Wijndal at number 10, I mentioned his versatility. Well, this guy gets in on versatility alone. He's a bit of a Milner. He can play, well, he can play everywhere. Have a look at this for a chart. He is primarily, I'd say, a right back or a right wing back. Is also natural in centre mid as well, and does have the attributes to back that up as well, as you can see. But I like him as a right back or a right wing back. I can actually show you. I've been using him as a right wing back in this system here. Look, we're feeding these guys up front. Osimhen, Sesko and Luka, some of the strikers that we mentioned in the striker video that we did like this one, didn't we? He has been very, very good for us since the start. His average rating above a 7 in both seasons so far. Again, can't really argue with that, can you? He's also, I think, pretty attainable if you are one of the top sides because he's at Wolfsburg. I think you can probably go and buy him and just look at those attributes. They speak for themselves, really. Radal Baku, then, I approve. Let's move through to number 8. In at number 8 is somebody that you guys have mainly suggested to me. I've not actually signed him in FM22 yet, but as you guys were all saying him on Twitter, I was like, I know that he's really good. He's actually back at City now after he goes out on loan. He starts the game out on loan at Valladolid. Look, no, it's not Sporting this time around. And he's ended up back at City where he's actually playing some games because he's a very, very good right back. He's one of those also that can play a little bit further forward, which I think we're going to see with quite a few of our fullbacks / wing backs. It's a very attacking position these days, isn't it? And Pedro Porro, very, very good at doing so. Great physicals. He's got that pace in there. Look, also really good dribbling, which is a very important attribute in these positions. Nice bit of flair on Pedro Porro as well, which is cool to see. I would just say as well, because I feel like I do need to say this in every one of our videos where we do a top 10. This, my top 10 is my top 10. If you disagree, I absolutely welcome that. In fact, I'd like you to leave me the comments down below of which players you think should be in this top 10. But I am deliberately leaving out the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and João Cancelo. I know they're unbelievable. I know they're sensational. But these are the best players, the top 10 players to go and buy in Football Manager 2022. Trent, very difficult to go and buy. So that's why they're not in this list. I feel like I do just have to say that every one of these videos. But I know that most of you understand the vibe, right? In at number 7, we're going to have Matteo Ruggeri, another one that loads of you did recommend over on Twitter and were tweeting me saying this guy. And do you know what? I fully concur, because he is, even though we're a couple of seasons in here, he's still only 20 years old, and you can see he has all of the makings of being a fantastic left back. Really, really good. Great physicals, as I mentioned before. He's got that crossing as well, which if you played enough FM, you know that when those new gens start coming through, they're not able to cross, and crossing is so hard to train. So when you're looking for a fullback, especially if you're trying to whip balls into the box, which if you've got those target forwards and stuff, you're going to be looking for a player a bit like Matteo Ruggeri. I can see exactly why you guys have been recommending him, and that's why he's made my list at number 7, Ruggeri. Let's move through to number 6. And in at number 6 is another one that really came from you guys. Not somebody that I've signed, but lots of people that I speak to fairly often have signed this guy and had a really good experience with him. It's Federico Di Marco, another left back, another Italian left back, actually. Again, another one that can play further forward as a midfielder on the left-hand side. And I'm just looking at his profile here, 2 years into this save. And again, you can see exactly why you're going to get success out of him. I've seen people tweeting me saying that he's won things like the Ballon d'Or or World Player of the Year or getting in Team of the Year. I can see why. He's got himself some Italian caps here. He is a natural complete wing back, but look at these technical abilities, these technical attributes, long shots. That's very nice to have. But he's got the free kick taking and the corner taking. Now, we will come back to that. Park that one for just a little while. We will come back to a left back that can take set pieces, because I think this could be very, very important and something that you can really even exploit with the match engine. We'll talk about that later, but Di Marco makes my list at number 6 and potentially could be higher. I've just never used him really. Into the top 5 we go, and I've moved across to my Hertha Brazil save to show you a player that I have not signed. He doesn't play for me, but I knew that he turned out really, really well in that save because he's Brazilian and we're doing a Brazilian-only save, and I've not been able to sign him. It's Riquelme, who is a very good left back. Brilliant pace and stamina and acceleration, as you can see by this. Again, he's a similar mold to some of the other players that we've seen. I think, though, with a little bit of a cutting edge. He's got brilliant dribbling, and he's ended up at Chelsea. Also really young, I should mention too. We're what, 5 seasons in, I think, and he's now 23 years old, so he's almost a wonder kid at the start of the game. Chelsea have bought him for 26 million after he went to Milan for 17, after he went to Lazio for 10 million pounds, and he's been a bit quiet really for Chelsea. Look, didn't really play much, but just looking at his attributes, he's a fantastic left back. And of course, we've actually used him as well in the Plymouth save that we're doing on the channel too, where he's been a very good player after signing on a free transfer. He's been in that team now for a couple of seasons, and I really like him. That's why he's made number 5 on our list. Let's move through to number 4. Sticking with the Hertha Brazil save then, in at number 4 comes Deovazio Zefweek. I'm definitely not saying that right, but that's how I've always said it. He starts off at Hertha Berlin, or Hertha Berlin. Look, as you can see, Hertha Brazil for me. And I had a couple of really brilliant seasons out of him. He got 10 assists, look, from right back here, and got a 7.38 average rating. The season after that, we got a 7.08 average rating from him and sold him for 40 million pounds. That's how good he was. And as you can see by his profile, He's maybe lacking in some areas like the concentration and decisions. If you're going for a very tight defense where maybe you're not one of the stronger teams, maybe he's not great. But you know what? If you're going to be very attacking, he's listed as an attacking fullback. He's got fantastic pace and he was really, really effective for me. Very aggressive, very brave look, and got assists and did really well. And I think maybe just by the fact that his average ratings were so high, it's kind of made me think this guy's really good. He works in this match engine. That's why I'm going to put him in at number 4 in our top fullbacks or wingbacks list. It's Zefweek Seshik. Top 3 time then, and in at number 3, it's another Hertha Brazil player for me. It's Dodo. As you can see, ignore the downwards arrows because those just make it look... They do make it look worse when you see the downwards arrows, don't they? But you know what? This guy is a baller. Really, really good. I also signed him in the Barcelona save that we did, and he pretty much ran the right-hand side all on his own. And I've brought him in on the Hertha save just for this season, actually, the most recent season, and he started off pretty well. 7.14 average rating without really doing much in terms of assists or goals. He's got 2 assists, actually. 1 in the Cup and 1 in Europe. So he's doing okay. We bought him for pretty big money, but I really like him. I know there's bigger things to come when he settles in a little bit more. Dodo, look, he's got fantastic physicals. He's got that 16 pace, really strong actually, 16 strength, even though he's 5'5" and a bit of a pocket rocket, which maybe you wouldn't expect. He's also really good off the ball look. He's got that crossing look. He's got that dribbling as well. In this save, he went to Wolves for 27.5, then Sevilla for 41, and then most recently we've bought him for 58. I think he's just as solid as they come in terms of right backs, and that's why I've put him in at number 3. Let's move through to my top 2. That rhymes. Okay, number 2 then. Do you remember when I mentioned about the set piece taking being maybe an important little, almost like an exploit here at fullback, especially at left back? I don't know if this is a thing that needs to be experimented with and proven a little bit, but I've got a theory that left backs that can take corners get an unworldly amount of assists in a season, and it's been proven by my number 2 left back or wing back in our list today, Marvin Plattenhardt. On paper, this guy doesn't look like the best player in the world, does he? In fact, he's actually aged a little bit now. He's 33, so we're what, 4 or 5 seasons in, so maybe at the start he's a little bit stronger than this, but most importantly, he's got fantastic corner taking at 15, really good 16 crossing, good technique too at 15. He can also take free kicks too. And because of that, if you put him on your set pieces from left back, there's something about the outswinger that means that this guy can rack up brilliant numbers. I'll show you our first couple of seasons with Hertha Brazil, as that's where he starts off the game, or Hertha Berlin. He got 13 assists in the Bundesliga, 15 in all competitions from left back, a 7.29. And then after that, I replaced him, and you're going to find out who I replaced him with. But just that alone, and I know that other people have had this experience with him as well, where he can just go on and be sensational for you. It's a real under the radar pick. And I think if you are just in desperate need to go and sign a left back, have a look at Marvin Plattenhardt and try him out, because the proof is in the pudding. He gets assists. He gets average ratings. It's a bit of a wild card entry into my top 10. But as I mentioned, this is my top 10. You can argue it if you like in the comments down below. Marvin Plattenhardt is number 2. Let's find out who is the number 1 fullback or wingback or inverted wingback that you can sign in FM22. All right, it wasn't really a secret, was it? I think if you know me, if you've watched me for long enough in pretty much any of my saves this year, you'll know how much I adore Alex Telles. I think, personally, he's the best player in FM22. I feel like I still need to make that video where I explain why Alex Telles is so good. But in essence, it's the same as Plattenhardt in at number 2. He's a left back that can take corners and can take free kicks, has fantastic technique, can also take penalties, which is a bonus with Alex Telles. He's also very, very good across the board. Here we are 4 or 5 seasons in, and he's 32 years old, but he is actually purchasable and attainable as well, because Manchester United can't wait to get rid of him for some reason. I don't know why, but have a look at the average ratings that this guy manages to produce year on year on year. Alex Telles, I can't really explain. Well, I can explain it. It's the set pieces, really. He's just unbelievably good. First season, he got 9 assists, 13 all competitions, 7.14. Fine. Second season, 15 league assists, 23 assists in all competitions, an 8.01 from left back. 10 player of the match awards. Season after that, he backed it up. It wasn't a fluke, because he got a 7.86 look with 12 assists in the league and 20 assists all competitions. And then so far this year, 7 appearances, 5 assists. 7.86 average rating so far. This guy, he's so good. He gets so many different types of assists as well from the corners. Obviously, he scores goals from penalties. He does score some worldies as well from open play too. And it's not even just on this save that I've managed to get the best out of him. Let me show you my Barcelona save where he was so good as well. Look, here he is in the Barcelona save, look. And look at these for average ratings. First year I bought him, 8.07 average rating. He got 22 assists across the season. Year after that, 22 assists. This year, look at this, 22 appearances. 11 goals from left back because he scored a hat-trick in one game, 11 assists or 19 assists in 22 or well 19 assists in 38 games in this season, 7.88, 7.91. He runs the show from left back. Let me show you that game. It was fairly close to the start of the season. He scored a hat-trick from left back. There, look. No, he didn't. Oh my word, he didn't. We won 10-0 in the league and he scored 5 goals from left back. Only 2 of them were penalties as well. This man, he's just no joke. And that's why he's number one. Not only number one in terms of my fullbacks or wingbacks, he's number one in terms of any position on this game. Go and sign Alex Telles. How much did I sign him for here for Barcelona? £12.5 million. I think it was similar when I signed him for Hertha as well. I mean, I've pretty much tried to bring him in every single save we've done this year, but it's so worth it. He is my number one. Who's your number one? Let me know down in the comments down below to add to some of those opinions I got from Twitter. But thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you'll stick around and join the channel too by subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'm out. Bye-bye.